Nice to talk to Sebastian Mins yesterday after his last effort into the qualifying heats, and now he is on the other side. By his side is Raoul Zaren on the front row of the grid for the first of two superheats for the junior class. Sebastian Mins on the opposite side with Freddie Lloyd from Fusion Motorsport just behind, as well as Harrison Mackie on the second row of the grid. The drivers between 12 and 14 years of age in the junior class. The green flag is waving, the whistle has been blown, and here it comes, the Superheat 1 for the X30 junior category with 50 drivers gathering this weekend in Valencia. A beautiful lineup made of young talents from all four corners of Europe and beyond. Now, here's the starting grid in full. Sebastian Mins, you heard him. He's determined to really finish his weekend on a high. He's going to have Raoul Zaren by his side on row number 1. Row number 2, Freddie Lloyd and Harrison Mackie. Then we have Noah Montero and Vilmos Van on row number 3. Row number 4, Toby Gale and Hugo Marti. Followed on row number 5 by Rocco Coronel and Romeo Russell. Row number 6, Mathis Ribia and Arthur de Donker. And row number 7 with Tyrone Kinnaar and Joseph Smith.
Row 8, Harry Bartel and Timo Koopmans, they go from that row. Row 9, Austin Gale and Nikita Nikashov go from row 9. Rounding out the top 20 on row 10, Thomas Gomez and Alexander Dahlstrom. They've got the close company of Dom Kaikkonen and Filippo Dondanen behind on row 11. Bertram Sasha and Mikael Malmer round out row 12, with Thomas Fernandez rounding out the 25 karts in this race on row 13. Looking at my timing screen, all karts have left the pit lane, which is perfect. It's what we like to see in the early stages of the day. And yeah, this is going to be a good one. First junior race of the day. They were very exciting yesterday, the junior races. Are they going to be the same today, or again have they been given words of advice by the teams and everything, just saying, you know, just pull it back a little bit, maintain the tyres, you know, save them for the finals if if they're using a brand new set today, or if they're still using a set from yesterday. Some of them mix matching as well, so they could have some brand new, some used. So it is a fine line on strategy of that one. But you know, the proof's in the pudding, really. We're going to have to watch this race and see what happens, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. But some of the drivers out there might be willing to put fresher rubber on to gain performance into the superheat. That's something that we've seen before. Most of the protagonists, of course, all want to keep a chance to shine here in Valencia in the most important of all races this afternoon. So in order to do that, they want to keep all fresh tire that they have, a full set for the final. But it's not unusual to see some fresher rubber being put on for the superheat. And some of the drivers out there in the personal classification of the junior class beyond the place 36, like the likes of Thomas Gomez, Sam Woolley, Alexander Dahlstrom. Some of them just missing a couple of points to be within the top groups. So we'll see about that as we're going to mix the two results of the two superheat. Green, 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 and here we go on tire number 1. Perfect start on the inside for Sebastian Mins. Watch out as we're gonna have Freddie Lloyd going around the inside, and a couple of drivers on the outside line. One in trouble for the back. This is number 32. Let's try to see who that is in a moment. But Nikita Nikishov, unfortunately, was pushed a little bit out of the way. But apart from that, it's pretty clean for everybody through the first sector. Second as well, but who's in the lead? And number 51 of Freddie Lloyd, who had a perfect getaway around the inside of Sebastian Mins, his fellow countryman. So this is the start, of course, that he was expecting to have. But watch out for Sebastian Mins, already trying to go around the outside into the sequence of hairpins over there, as he's about to conclude lap number 1 with the pressure of the 29. Noah Montero, good start as well for the Portuguese.
Yes, indeed. Fabulous start, already going defensive. There is Lloyd. He was unsure what Sebastian Mins' intentions were, and Mins said just go, 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 and he's not gone for a lunge down the inside into the final chicane. He has stayed behind, but look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and contact in the background, and now everyone has to scatter to avoid the contact. The 45, it was the driver that went round, and that was Bertram Sasha, who's gone round the track, and then the 54 there, who's not crossed the line. That's Mikael Malmer, who's yet to come back across the line, and understandably very frustrated with himself. Seeing a driver spin in front of you, you have to avoid contact, and unfortunately just resulted in a spin. Big shame for him.
Yeah, we lost also Tyrone Kinnaar. Unfortunately, the young Belgian is still in the race, but tumbled down the order. What a new addition to the Pantana Racing team, unfortunately for him. But in the meantime, Freddie Lloyd in the lead for Fusion Motorsport, Sebastian Mins. Then we have Raoul Zaren in P3, having passed Noah Montero, the young Portuguese who dropped a little bit further back. He's in P6 at the moment, Noah Montero, with Hugo Marti putting himself in P5. Then we have Rocco Coronel in P7 in front of Reba Smith and Austin Gale rounding up the top 10. Good recoveries out there, and a warning flag picked up by the young Dutchman. Watch out on the inside, a move for P3 with Bartel coming across Sunzaren. There was nothing that a Spanish driver could have done at such an early stage. 12 laps is still a long race, longer than yesterday's qualifying heats, but right now it's still, the drivers are keeping it steady in the lead, as we're going to see the replay of what happened at the chicane.
Okay, so down the inside went the 45 there. So it was Bertrand Sash who tried to go for the move, and unfortunately the gap had closed and they just clipped wheels. And again, the recovering 54 of Michael Malma, very frustrated when he left. Change for the leader though, as Sebastian Mins. There is Tyron Kennard, and not sure what's gone wrong with Wagon, but Wagon been not rolling.
The tires. Yeah, he went against the tires quite badly, and the front fairing and the nose were going loose by the look of it, so must have been other technical difficulties.
Yes, indeed. Action at the front here, because Sebastian Mins has now found himself leading the huge group of karts in third place across the line. He's got Bartel there. Now it's still Freddie Lloyd from Zanzaren first and second as they go through. This is what happened then with that one. So Lloyd went down the inside, Zanzaren followed, then Mins was caught out by Bartel on the curb and then got swamped by the pack behind as Joseph Smith now sets the fastest lap of the race, who's currently in P8.
Yeah, interesting development. Certainly not the one that Sebastian Mins had expected, having started the race in the front. Oh, a little bit of a push from Sunzaren on Freddie Lloyd. Nothing bad about this. It's part of racing, but it's showing Freddie Lloyd that is right there on his tail, and you can see him gesturing. Let's not push too much right now. Let's push each other out and try to create as big of a gap as possible, because Sebastian Mins, as you said, is leading the second bandwagon, and there's a lot of drivers behind in that group. As we have Bartel, Marti, Montero, the Portuguese driver, now for the back, the 47 of Rocco Coronel from Victory Lane, shutting the door to Smith and Riba, 9 and 10th respectively. Rocco Coronel, that you can easily recognize with the orange crash helmet, same color as his father, Tom Coronel, of course, famous touring car driver that you might have heard of certainly over the past few years. Freddie Lloyd, Sunzaren being put under pressure. What can the Spanish driver do? Looking over his shoulder, he knows that Sebastian Mins is really trying to close in. That's what he does in the tight hairpins over there, but nothing moves at the moment. Still quite early in this race, only lap 5, so they want to go with their head on this one. Certainly try to escape from the group, but not to do anything unwise that could actually have some dire consequences. And they're going around the inside. Beautiful launch, and yes, it does it, Sunzaren. That's what you'd like to see in the chicane. And now it's the turn of Freddie Lloyd to say, all right, keep going, I won't attack you, because Sebastian Mins losing a place to Bartel in the meantime.
You just saw there that slight twitch moment as they went through turn 1, and I think that's 2 different turning points per driver. I don't think Freddie Lloyd was ready for it. He said that, yes, okay, I'll follow you, and then Zanzaren, or Freddie went to turn in for the corner, and then Zanzaren didn't, and then he corrected to avoid that, and then they ended up being caught by Mins again. So they've got to be careful with that one. And Mins is a driver who will go for an overtake if the opportunity is there. Doesn't matter what stage of the race it is. If the gap's there, he will put that car in that gap to try and get that place back. So as they go through, it's now Spain versus Britain as they go back onto the start-finish straight. Lloyd checks over the shoulder just to see what's happening. It's still Mins who's there in third. Not going to go for a move. I did speak to Freddie Lloyd at the start of the day on this one, and he says he really doesn't like that final chicane, because when it comes to the last lap, you're always guaranteed someone's going to send it down the inside, and there, down the inside, and so does Sebastian Mins. Squeezes through, so 2 for 1 there for the 2 British drivers. They get past Zanzaren, and Bartel comes through now as well, so in a blink of an eye, Zanzaren, who was leading this race earlier on, now gets squeezed through. The other Croc Promotion driver, the number 31 of Austin Gale, comes through. Now loses that place back as Zanzaren defends it, but then switching back, then comes Austin Gale again and puts it back up into that position, moves back up into P4. and into that one. Now down the inside there, going the 1-4-2 is Hugo Matti, the other Spaniard who's now trying to get involved in this one. Can't quite get the move on the inside, so then he swaps back to the outside, and now he's got company as well from the 30 of Joseph Smith. So as this race has progressed on, it's really started to heat up, and you can see there the top 10 drivers all in the same camera shot as they dive into the final chicane for the 7th time, and off the track goes Nzardin. He gets squeezed off, and now he falls into the mid-pack section. He's got to be super careful here as this race progresses.
Yeah, watch out for Smith. He was trying to go on the move on Hugo Marti, the Paralympic driver, in the lead. Sebastian Mins is back in front of Freddie Loy, so there's another switch for the leadership of this race as Harry Bartle was trying to make his way through. He's going to have to wait a little bit longer, but well done to Sebastian Mins. At the moment is back where he wants to be. Freddie Loy in second, Harry Bartle, and we have Austin Gale in P4. It's going to be a great 4-driver battle, certainly on the way to the win. Into turn number 10, around the inside, and he just sends it beautifully and shuts the door on the next one in 11. Sebastian Mins was trying to go around the outside and to surprise him back. But in the meantime, look at what happens with Bartle and Gale going through. Disaster, unfortunately, for Sebastian Mins, who comes from first to P4 in a matter of seconds.
There goes Bartle down the inside of Lloyd as well into the final corner, and Lloyd gets squeezed there and almost clouts wheels with Sebastian Mins as they exit out of the final chicane. Back over the start-finish line, we're on lap 9 of 12 now. The race is coming to the end, but you have a new race leader for Britain, Harry Bartle for the Crop Promotions Racing Team. You see him there in his slightly pinkish helmet as he makes his way through turn 3, but he is under pressure from his teammate here, Austin Gale, the Thai driver who's come through now into second place and working well here. The Crop Promotion chassis, of course, an independent chassis. It was developed by the team themselves at Wilton Mill. Brilliant stuff by the team, and they're working well there. Who's pulled into the pit lane? That is the 32. That is Nikita Nikishov. We saw that driver go wide at the start of the race. It's not been a favourable race. Just thought, you know what, I'm just going to bring it in. It's not working. So the big shame there for Nikita Nikishov out of this race. But back here at the front, two teammates, line astern, into the final chicane.
Here we go, give us a good show. And the end of lap number 9 is going to be Edith all the way until the checkered flag. As you could see, Freddie Lloyd from P3 just turning around, and I think he's going to lose P2 to Sebastian Mins. Yes, indeed, Mins run the inside on the corner of your picture as Bartle and Austin Gale still battling along. They're observing each other. Oh, clipping the current. That was certainly a bit too aggressive for Harry Bartle, I'm afraid. He lost a bit of momentum as a result. You could see that Austin Gale was there for the taking. Couldn't quite make his way through just yet. But you can see, maybe you can feel that Harry Bartle is not entirely comfortable in the leading position. And watch out on the way to turn number 10. This particular sequence is an open door to overtaking maneuvers. Not happening this time around. But Gale is certainly very, very close. If he can have a good getaway and throttle to the metal on the way to the chicane, maybe he could have a spot as the checkered flag is coming near. Sebastian Mins might be thinking the same. Watch out for racing lines, not having this time. Mins further back, trying to keep Freddie Lloyd at bay, but Lloyd seems to be losing a bit of ground in the past lap. This is the penultimate round of the Superheat number 1 of the junior class, and nothing is decided yet.
No, indeed. So Gale there in second place with the fastest lap of the race. Was set a few laps ago, staying there in second place. He hasn't really checked over his shoulder just yet, but Sebastian Mins is there, and the gap is closing from British driver just trying to squeeze his way through. But line astern here, Bartle doing a fantastic job controlling the pace here at the front, but Mins has really closed in there. Did you see how close he hit that apex? He was absolutely line astern as they went in towards turn 10. It's opened up a little bit now, though, as they've head back onto the back straight, and Mins has dropped now Freddie Lloyd. Freddie Lloyd now falling back. He's still there in P4, but he's dropped off the toe, and now it is becoming a three-way battle for the lead. We're on lap 11. The final lap board comes out now, and Gale instantly goes through it, wastes no time of getting past his teammate Bartle, and just gets that first place position. Now they'll come in towards turn 3, and instantly Bartle's going to fight back. That's bringing Sebastian Mins into play. Mins needs to think carefully now. Is he going to go early? He is going to try and go early. He squeezes down the inside. The gap wasn't there, but he did try to squeeze it anyway as they went through. Now he's lost out on time. Now it's just these two. Into the tight, twisty section they go now.
Yeah, it must have been maybe a little slight contact into the process, but nothing to worry about. Sebastian Mins still very much in the mix on the rhythm of the two leaders. Watch out between the Fusion, the Croc Promotion teammates on the way to the last chicane. This will be checkered flag coming soon, but who will cross the line first? Bartel, Gay, Sebastian Mins a little bit further back. I think his hopes for victory are just done and dusted for now. On the inside into the chicane, that was a bit too short. There was nowhere to go. Watch out for Sebastian Mins, a little bit of a contact. Then Floyd goes ahead for P3, yes, P2 even for Freddie Lloyd. What a finish of a race. Freddie Lloyd went on the inside. Sebastian Mins and Austin Gale went for the contact a little bit, and Mins on his way to potential P2, lost everything and finishes P4.
Well, what a ending to that superheat then. Bartel takes the win, but a surprise Freddie Lloyd, who I suspect will be happy with that one. Like you say, he was talking about you never want to be with someone as you go into that final chicane on the last lap. You want to be on your own so you can pick up the pieces, and pick up the pieces he did, managing to get past both Austin Gale and Sebastian Mins. It was Mins who was picking up the pieces after Gale went for the initial move. Bartel's happy, giving a thumbs up to his fellow British drivers out on circuit, and they'll make their way back into the pit lane. Let's have a look then at the provisional classifications at the end of Junior X30 Superheat 1. As the drivers make their way in, Harry Bartel then wins that race from Freddie Lloyd, Austin Gale, Sebastian Mins, Hugo Marti, Rausen Zaren from Noah Monteiro, and Matthias Reiber. Wilmer Sven round out the top 9 from Timo Koopmans, who rounds out the top 10. 6 places gained there for Timo, 14 places for both Bartel and Austin Gale, so something tells me they're on a fresh set of boots out there in that one. Harrison Mackie, disappointing end to that one, drops down into P11, unfortunately for the Fusion driver. Romeo Russell finishing in P12 from Joseph Smith. Toby Gale, who was battling with his fellow Gale